Lofi Poli Sci coming at you. Michael Pickering here talking our famous question. What's going on in the world today? And today, it's Tuesday's Top 10 list. Every Tuesday, we look at global indicators and surveys to see what countries hold the top 10 rankings in particular categories. And on this Tuesday, we're looking at the second half of last week's list. Today, we're doing the top 10 most corrupt countries. Yes, indeed. And our data come from the Corruption Perception Index 2021 report, which is produced by the organization Transparency International. And for a fuller deep dive into the organization and the data collection method, revisit last week's episode. It's all there for you. Now to the list, and a top 12 list, because we just have that many ties. And coming in and tied for number 12, Turkmenistan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Burundi. And tied for number 9, Libya and Equatorial Guinea. And another three-way tie for number 7 is Yemen, North Korea, and Afghanistan. Coming in at number 4, Venezuela. And tied for number 3, Syria and Somalia. And number 1, the most corrupt country in the world, as surveyed by Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index 2021. A silent 10 count for you to see if you can guess. Number 1 is South Sudan. And let's hit that list again real quick because it was a quick list. Number 12, Turkmenistan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Burundi. Number 9, Libya and Equatorial Guinea. Number 7, Yemen, North Korea, and Afghanistan. Number 4, Venezuela. Number 3, Syria and Somalia. Number 1, South Sudan. Now, what can we say about this list of 12 countries that Transparency International ranks as the most corrupt countries in the world? Well, geographically, 6 are in Africa, 2 in Central Asia, 2 in the Middle East, 1 in East Asia, and 1 in South America. And this is in comparison to the 10 least corrupt countries, which we had 8 in Europe, and then New Zealand and Singapore. So our list today is more geographically diverse, though still, half of it is in Africa. And also, I think it's pretty important to say, out of our 12 countries today, 9 of them have ongoing instances of civil conflict and violence, meaning in some capacities, these countries are all failed states where the central government is concerned, where the central government really isn't the central government, meaning they don't control the entire country in all 9 of these countries. The 3 exceptions to the list, Turkmenistan, North Korea, and Venezuela. And also worth noting, the newest country in the world is in this list, South Sudan, and it's number 1 on the list. But what does this all mean? I mean, why does it all even matter? Well, let's start by saying that Transparency International only does 180 countries because it simply doesn't have the data on all the countries in the world. Fact. So this list is biased in that fashion, without a doubt. But I think there's something else important to realize when you look at not just the rankings of countries, but their scores. Because you see, each country gets a corruption score from 0 to 100. 0 equals completely corrupt, and 100, no corruption at all. And in reality, no countries have perfect scores. They simply don't exist in the world. There is no such country as absolutely no corruption, and no such country as completely corrupt. Well, then you may just be asking, what is the highest and lowest scores on the 2 ends of the list? And that, my friends, is a great question. Our number 1 today, South Sudan, the most corrupt country in the world, has a score of 11 out of 100. Our number 1s for least corrupt countries in the world, Denmark, Finland, and New Zealand, each have a score of 88 out of 100. No countries have a 90. You get that? 90 or above does not exist. And that is quite telling. And in fact, once you jump down out of the top 10 least corrupt countries, our scores drop into the 70s out of 100, which means something very, very important for us. All countries even the least corrupt countries have a significant amount of corruption in the business world and in government. And no one is exempt from this. And you see, I like this. Because if you compare Transparency International's 0 to 100 score to Freedom House's 0 to 100 scores for democracy, Freedom House has several countries with perfect 100s. And I think that's a major flaw in how Freedom House measures democracy and freedoms and civil liberties and civil rights. No country is completely free. But Freedom House's scoring system doesn't reflect that. And no country is without corruption. And Transparency International scoring system does reflect that. The scoring system may not be perfect, but what else can we do? Have you figured out yet just how to more accurately measure corruption in the world? Write in. I'm curious your thoughts. And that's this Tuesday's Top 10 list. Check out this weekend's issues of Letters of the Lofi Poli Sci. And check out Friday's weekly blog post, both on lofipolisci.com. And it's not a cliche or a catchphrase. It's a lifestyle. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Talk to you soon, Lofi listeners. Pickering, signing off.